Hey everyone, hope everything's going well. We're going to do a quick recap of Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 1, Dragonstone. If you have not seen this episode yet, or do not want it spoiled for you, please stop watching now. If not, I'm going to jump right into it. Bizarro Red Wedding. Walder Frey invites all of House Frey to a feast. Before that feast begins, Walder Frey wants to toast his family, calling them all heroes. After saying the house words, stand together, all the Freys take a drink. Walder Frey then starts to mock his family for killing a mother with a baby still in her belly, slitting the throat of a mother of 5, and slaughtering guests after inviting them into their home. As Walder Frey berates them, the Freys are gasping for air and dropping dead to the floor. All are dead except for Walder Frey's wife, who looks at Walder Frey and watches as he peels his face off, revealing himself to be Arya Stark. Arya tells Walder Frey's wife, now widow, to tell all who ask that the North remembers and that winter has come for House Frey. March of the Dead. After the opening credits, we are in an open field covered in snow. We watch a storm roll in. As this storm envelops us, we see the eerie blue eyes of the undead walking towards us. In a silent march, we witness the White Walkers on top dead horses leading an army of the undead, which now seems to have a few undead giants amongst their midst. The moment ends after getting a close-up look at one of the undead giants, who bears an uncanny resemblance to Jon Snow's pal, Won. Did we just see the future? Because Won died at Winterfell. After the undead march south, we see Bran coming out of a vision. So yes, I do believe what we just saw was the undead army marching south of the wall. Bran and Meera are now at Castle Black's gates, where Ed and some other Night's Watch meet them and allow Bran and Meera through the gate. The new king in town. Meanwhile, picking up right where we left off last season, Jon Snow, now King of the North, is holding a council meeting with all the Lords of the North and Wildling leaders. Jon informs his lords that dragonglass kills White Walkers, and that they need to find it, they need to mine it, and they need to make weapons from it. Jon Snow's next decree is that everyone from ages 10 to 60 will train daily with spears, pikes, and bow and arrow. Lord Glover jests that it's about time we taught these summer boys to fight, which got a lot of laughs from the rest of the group, until Jon Snow says not just the boys, and explains that the army of the undead will not be beaten if we face them with only half our population. This was met with some resistance from Lord Glover, until Lady Mormont put him back in his place by telling him that she isn't planning on sitting by the fire knitting while men fight for her. Jon Snow then asked the wildlings to man the wall. Tormund is heading to Eastwatch by the sea, as that is the closest tower to Hardhome, the last place they had seen the Night King. Finally, there is a debate about what to do with the Umbers and Karstark castles. Sansa wants to give them to Northerners who supported Jon during the Battle of the Bastards. Jon, however, proclaims that he will not punish the sons for their father's crimes. The room gets awkward during this exchange, with only one person enjoying the dissent between the Starks, that person being Littlefinger. The matter is settled with Jon putting his foot down, and his decision stands. The Umbers and Karstarks will keep their castles. Jon Snow then calls forth Ned Umber, who is a young boy, and Alice Karstark, a young girl, and get them to re-pledge to House Stark once again. The Promise of a Gift. In King's Landing, Jaime finds Cersei walking over a map of the 7 kingdoms she is having painted on the floor. Cersei informs Jaime that their brother Tyrion has been appointed at Daenerys' Hand of the Queen, basically blaming Jaime for Tyrion still being alive. Cersei then goes on to talk about the rest of their enemies, Dorne to the south, Highgarden to the west, Jon Snow and Sansa to the north, with Tyrion and Daenerys to the east. Basically, they're surrounded from all sides. Cersei informs Jaime that with the Freys murdered, they need new allies. Cersei has invited the Greyjoys to King's Landing. Cersei and Jaime meet Euron in the throne room, where after some heavy flirting between Cersei and Euron, and after some nasty well-done digs between Jaime and Euron offers his ships to Cersei, but only if she agrees to marry him. Cersei refuses this offer, calling Euron untrustworthy. Instead of being insulted or furious about the refusal, Euron takes it in stride and promises Cersei a gift that will prove he is trustworthy. Sam the Maid. In the longest montage in Game of Thrones history, we see what a day at the Citadel is like for our hero, Sam Tarly. No longer is he called Sam the Slayer. He has shouldered a new moniker, that of Sam the Maid. We see Sam spend his days putting away books, feeding the maesters, and cleaning out bedpans. Sam asks for permission from a Grand Maester to go into the restricted section of the Citadel, and after being refused, Sam steals some keys and goes in anyway, taking a couple books that will help him find out more about the undead. Flirting with style and fire. Back at Winterfell, we get to see some more chemistry brew between Tormund and Brienne, while also we get to witness Sansa cold shoulder Littlefinger. It seems as if Sansa is immune to Littlefinger's charms now, though knowing Littlefinger, he has a lot more up his sleeve, so we can't count him out quite yet. Arya's plan revealed. Arya is riding in the woods and comes across a couple Lannister soldiers, one of which is Ed Sheeran. They are getting ready to make supper out of a rabbit. They invite Arya to join them. She reluctantly accepts. Throughout this scene, we find out that Arya is actually not heading north to reunite with her long-lost siblings. She is in fact heading south to kill the Queen. The Hound found a heart. Sandor Clegane, aka the Hound, is still traveling with Beric Dondarrion and Thoros of Myr. The three of them camp out at an abandoned farm, where a couple seasons back, the habitants, a farmer and his daughter, gave Clegane and Arya shelter for the night. Now it seems the farmer and daughter have died of poverty-related starvation and murder-suicide. Dondarrion and Thoros convince Clegane to look into the fire, where he has a vision of the wall, the dead, and the ocean. Dondarrion and Thoros quickly assess this vision to mean that the undead are going to be attacking the wall at Eastwatch Tower by the sea. Once Dondarrion and Thoros are asleep, the Hound takes the bodies of the farmer and his daughter outside where he buries them. There's dragonglass under that there Dragonstone. Sam the Maid is in his bedchamber reading, looking completely exhausted. He comes across some information about a mountain of dragonglass under Dragonstone, which he sends off to Jon right away. Sam is then seen collecting bowls from what looks like a quarantine hallway, and as he goes to collect the last bowl, an arm shoots out looking absolutely disgusting. We hear Jorah Mormont's voice ask if there has been any word about the Mother of Dragon. Sam tells Jorah there has been no word at all and hurries off. Home. In this episode's final scene, Dany and her council, they are rowed up to the sandy shore outside Dragonstone. We hear majestic singing as Dany and co proceed through the entranceway, examine the busted up throne room, where it looks like the throne is made out of a huge chunk of dragonglass. Dany heads to a room off the throne room, where a table in the shape of Westeros sits. At the head of the table, she looks at Tyrion and asks, "Shall we begin?" And that ends the episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, stay classy.